What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here as always. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Let's talk about some movies. So today, guys, scratch that. So today, ladies, this video is for the ladies out there. In honor of Women's History Month, I decided to pull a bunch of movies off my shelf. I'm gonna make a two-part video, 10 movies in today's video, 10 movies in the next video. There's just too much girl power to fit into one video, goddammit. Each one of these movies being some of my favorite female-focused films and just some of my favorite films in general. Now, not every one of these films is just girl bosses girl bossing it up. Some of them are, but what all of these films do have in common are well-written, complex women and feature great stories and fantastic performances, all centered around a woman or group of women leading the narrative. We have some newer films, some older films. Some of these films I'm sure all of you already know, but some of these films I hope that I can introduce you to and you can watch for the first time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a dopey guy like all other dopey guys, and I like some good TNA and a good slasher movie, but that's not what these films are about. There's a time and place for that, and these films do something different. It's important to look outside the usual horror tropes and cliches and shine a light on films that think outside the box and give our female audience something to stand up and cheer for. So a huge thank you to all of you amazing, badass, hardworking ladies out there. Without you, guys like me would just be wandering around aimlessly, forgetting our own name. So before we get started, guys, if this is your first time here, again, my name is Justin. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. You can check out my other videos. You can think about subscribing. Definitely comment down below and let me know what you think of today's movies. And let's just kick this off with our first movie.
You're killing people. No, I'm killing boys.
Thought you only murdered boys.
I go both ways.
In 2009's Jennifer's Body, everything is good in the hood for Needy Lesnicki, a perfect boyfriend and a best friend in Jennifer Check. Everything is fine until someone gets sacrificed to the devil and turned into a demon succubus who eats boys. Jennifer's Body has long been one of my favorite movies. This movie never got its due when it first came out in 2009. Since then, it's finally gained a cult status. It's got such great performances, perfect writing if you're into Diablo Cody's dialogue, which I get a kick out of. This is just an all-around great movie. It's got humor, it's got great performances, great supporting role by Adam Brody. He's good in this movie. All around great movie. If you haven't seen it, check out 2009's Jennifer's Body. Next up, We Summon the Darkness.
Girls, be careful now. There's a lot of evil out there.
You don't think we can fend for ourselves? Boys!
Keeping with the satanic themes, Alexandria Daddario and her friends deal with even more satanic shenanigans in 2020's We Summon the Darkness, which follows the events that happened after a concert in a town that recently has been dealing with a string of ritualistic satanic killings. After meeting some boys at a local metal concert, the three leads invite the boys back to their house and shit hits the fan, but a little flip happens about halfway through and it's not what the audience is expecting. Now, this movie may have flew under the radar for some of you, but I urge you to check it out. It's a fantastic movie, great lead performance by Alexandra Daddario. I don't think she gets enough credit for her acting chops. She's great, especially in the show White Lotus on HBO. Check that out. When you start watching this movie, you think you know how it's gonna go, and then about 20-30 minutes in, it flips the script and you get something fresh and new. There's also a great supporting performance from Johnny Knoxville, actually. He's good in this movie. Check this one out. It's a lot of fun.
Unbelievable.
Welcome and happy midsummer. Skål!
Next up, continuing with another film involving rituals and generally sketchy shit, is one of my all-time favorites, Ari Aster's 2019 masterpiece, Midsummer. What begins as a carefree summer holiday takes a sinister turn when the insular villagers invite their guests to partake in festivities that grow increasingly unnerving and viscerally disturbing. From the visionary mind of Ari Aster comes the dread-soaked cinematic fairy tale where a world of darkness unfolds in broad daylight. This is the movie that probably most people watching this video have seen, but in case you haven't, I urge you to check out this amazing film directed by Ari Aster with an amazing lead performance from Florence Pugh. She is incredible in this movie. She really has to go to some incredible emotional highs, emotional lows. Everybody loves the outcome in the movie when Christian, the boyfriend, well, I don't want to spoil anything. Just check out Midsummer if you haven't seen it. You'll love it. It's fantastic.
I guess
guess we all want what we don't have.
In our next movie, 2020's The Stylist, we follow our main character, Claire, a reclusive hairstylist whose envy of the clients that sit in her salon chair grows more and more dangerous day by day. Every day, hearing each woman describe their perfect lives, perfect husband, and in particular, her newest client's wedding, Claire's grip on reality starts to crack, and her jealousy and personal sadness due to personal past trauma drive her to commit gruesome mutilations of the unlucky folks that cross her path. This movie was actually filmed right in my hometown. All of these shooting locations are just a stone's throw from where I sit right now in Kansas City. It was also directed by Kansas City native Jill Six. The central lead performance by Najara Townsend is incredible. This movie is beautifully shot. It's got some gruesome, bloody moments, some moments of humor, but overall you relate to our main character, and it's just a great character study, a great descent into madness. You guys will love this one. I highly suggest checking out The Stylist.
Candles, we're gonna get arrested! I can't live like this anymore. Why don't you hate people? I'm not a cannibal! Then what the fuck are you?
In our next movie, 2015's Eat, our main character, Novella McClure, deals with stress by taking out her frustrations on, well, herself. As a failing actress, Novella deals with stress a bit more intimately than our stylist Claire from our last movie by taking things out on herself in one of the most horrific body horror films I have ever seen. Novella's journey from bubbly and hopeful actress to what she becomes by the end is truly disturbing. Now, this movie is absolutely not going to be for everyone, and it is definitely the more visually disturbing, gory, and gross out movies on the list. But if you're into unique body horror, this one's gonna be pretty tasty if you're into that sort of thing. Definitely check out Eat. It's really gross.
How far along are you?
A day.
For our next film, and what is probably the most funny and lighthearted movie in today's list, is 2020's Snatchers. Senior year is going to rule. Thanks to her relationship with clueless hunk Skylar, Sarah is totally in with the cool girls. But Skylar contracted an extraterrestrial bug during his summer vacation. Wah wah. After just one night together, Sarah discovers she's pregnant. 9 months pregnant. The next day, with an alien. Desperate to keep her condition on the DL, she turns to the only person she can trust, her nerdy ex-bestie Haley. But the girls soon realize that bloodthirsty aliens are just the beginning of their problems. Extended from and using the same actress as the web series it's based on, Snatchers is a great mix-up of camp and horror. It's one of the more lesser-known titles on the list, but with a breezy 97-minute runtime, fantastic performances, this is one definitely worth a watch. This is definitely one of the more obscure ones on the list. I wanted to make sure I included movies that weren't the common movies that everybody has seen. I wanted to throw some hidden gems in here, and this, along with Eat and a couple of other ones on the list, this is just a fantastic, fun movie. This isn't sadistic and like mean-spirited. This is a fun, lighthearted, campy movie. It does have some gore in it, but the lead performances are great. It's just a blast. Check this out. You can also find the web series that it's based on, I believe, on YouTube if you want to check out that version. But Snatchers is a lot of fun. Check it out. Now we're going to go a little artsy, a little dark, and dive into my favorite Natalie Portman role of all time and let loose, Black Swan.
Please believe me.
What happened to my sweet girl? She's gone!
Darren Aronofsky's artfully crafted ballet downer that also stars Mila Kunis as the catalyst for Portman's mesmerizing downward spiral as a hopeful Swan Lake star to paranoid walking nightmare. After her spot in the high-profile stage show is threatened by seductive newcomer Lily, played by Kunis, Portman spins out of control and her grip on reality crumbles and turns her into something she could never imagine. Black Swan also features great performances from Vincent Cassel and Winona Ryder. Black Swan is easily the darkest and the most disturbing and sort of depressing movie on the list, but the filmmaking and the pure cinematic craft of this, combined with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis's brilliant lead performances, just make this it's a modern classic in my opinion. This movie is not going to put you in a great mood. Make sure you have a comedy on deck. Maybe pop in Snatchers as a double feature or palate cleanser because it is depressing, but it's just a sight to behold. It's a cinematic wonder, if you will. I'm getting really nerdy on here. I sound like such a douche, but this movie is so fucking awesome. Check out Black Swan. If you haven't seen it, it's a must-watch classic if you can suffer through it. Check it out, Black Swan.
You can't.
Building on those psychedelic head trip themes, our next film will also break your brain. 2019's Bliss is a neon-soaked LA nightmare that follows aspiring artist Desi on a drug-fueled odyssey as she attempts to create her painting masterpiece. After a string of bad luck resulting in an ultimatum from her talent agent, she finds a new creative inspiration from a new black-powdered street hallucinogenic drug called Bliss. After initially finding an artistic resurgence, the drug takes hold and her dreams become a blood-soaked massacre that is as stylish as it is gory. Beautifully written and directed by up-and-coming director Joe Bigos, Bliss will check all the boxes when it comes to a good vampire-adjacent art house horror film. It's gross, it's grimy, but also it finds a way through the carnage with a certain beauty as well. Lesser known but highly effective, Bliss will eat your heart out. Damn, I even impressed myself with that blurb. This is a movie that I've mentioned probably 5,000 times throughout all of my videos on both my channels. This movie is an incredible independent film. It was shot on 16mm. The LA locations, the performances, everything is amazing. And I have to say, I know it sounds cheesy when people say this, but an incredibly brave performance from this lead character, Dora Madison. She's incredible in this movie and she's asked to do a lot. She has to sort of bare her soul in this role, but this movie is a horror masterpiece in my opinion. There's some great gore, some beautiful visuals, amazing performances. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I've recommended it a dozen times in past videos. I'm recommending it again. Check out Bliss. It should be streaming now. I think I watched it on Amazon before I bought it. Now moving on from horror and into some 90s greatness, the next two films star two of the most beloved American actresses of all time.
It's nice to live in a country where life, liberty, and all the rest of it still stand for something.
The first of which stars Nicole Kidman in easily one of the best performances in her entire career. This film also stars Matt Dillon and Joaquin Phoenix in great supporting roles. Suzanne Stone has always dreamed of being on TV, and she's dead set on making that dream come true. But there is just one obstacle: Larry Moretto, her husband. So Suzanne convinces a love-struck teenager, Joaquin Phoenix, to get Larry out of her way for good. Now, this is one that definitely a lot of the younger viewers may never have seen. This is from 1993. Don't let the dated nature of the movie deter you from watching this. It's not even dated, it's just an older movie, but this is actually based on a true story. You can look up the true crime story that this is based on, but I cannot stress enough how incredible the performances are in this movie. In particular, Nicole Kidman. She is incredible. She plays such a raging bitch in this movie. Also, I have to mention a very early performance from Joaquin Phoenix playing this doped out kid who is just basically manipulated by Nicole Kidman's character. You know, her, I don't want to just spoil the whole movie, but it's amazing. You guys got to see this. This is a kind of a satirical dark comedy. It's a black comedy. So it's not really much of a downer like some of the other ones on this list, but this movie is so much fun. God, I love this movie. I need to rewatch it. I'm getting excited just talking about it. And now finally, our final film. Now I didn't put these films in any particular order. These are all amazing. I've seen all of these movies a bunch of times. So the next movie is the #1 spot, but every movie mentioned before it is just as good. And you guys will like all these movies, I promise.
We need a young female operative. I think she's the one.
What do I gotta do?
Girl number 5, take out the bad guys. Do not shoot the good guys.
Finally, our last film stars one of my biggest 90s crushes ever, Bridget Fonda as Maggie. She is society's worst nightmare, an antisocial misfit convicted of murder and sentenced to die. But a covert government agency may be able to transform her into a sleek, cool as ice assassin. Bridget Fonda stars as Maggie in this thriller directed by John Badham. Dressed to kill, trained to survive, she is set loose into a deadly world where unexpected romance complicates things even more. Gabriel Byrne, Dermot Mulroney, Anne Barcraft, and Harvey Keitel also star in supporting roles. This movie is so much fun, guys. This is based on Nikita, which is written by Luc Besson. Luc Besson also did The Professional. He also did The Fifth Element. This movie shares a lot in common with The Professional. This like scrappy young female character being sort of trained by an older, gruff, person basically training her how to shoot, how to be a deadly assassin, and she does it. Bridget Fonda is such a fucking badass in this movie. It's incredible. The beginning of the movie, she's in dire straits, a drug addict on the street, and once she goes to this finishing school, which is also, you know, an assassin school, she learns to, like, you know, be proper and also shoot a gun. It's just fucking badass. I cannot stress how much I love this movie. It's amazing. Like I said, I will be doing another video, and I just pulled, let me grab my movie. So like I said, I have 10 more movies. Those are gonna be featured in the next video, part 2 of this one. So be sure you're subscribed and stay tuned. And I may do a part 3 because I have 10 more movies that I don't own physically that I just want to throw on the list. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a 3-parter. Let me know in the comments. But guys, thank you so much. Ladies, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I had a blast. These are some of my favorite movies, and I can't wait to go through the next 10. Let me know your suggestions. What are your favorite female-centered horror films? I'd love to hear about them. Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I think we're done here. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.